Hello, and today I'm going to be explaining some things regarding the skill called Artisan. We can see right here. Artisan is a skill that cannot be taken in tandem with Treasure Hunter, which Treasure Hunter is very simple. It just adds luck level, which rerolls loot pools. Artisan is slightly more complicated, and in my opinion is the better of the two if you're going to be on a single player world. However, multiplayer, it's usually better to switch on and off depending on the player. So one player might go Treasure Hunter, but one player might go Artisan. Regardless of my personal opinions, this has multiple levels and also has a description here. Increases the quality of the vault gear crafted by the player. The quality of the gear impacts the likelihood of what rarity it will roll. Having at least one level in Artisan allows the player to use fabrication tools, which can be used together with an identified gear piece and an anvil to attempt, this is important, to extract a random modifier to an Artisan scroll. And it has everything here. It doesn't show the exact chances, but it's pretty much exactly what it says. It's most likely common. It cannot roll scrappy. Glorious can roll most likely rare. Flawless is high chance of epic. Masterful is most likely epic. And perfected is most likely epic. High chance of omega, and it cannot be common. So once you're at the highest level, which is endgame, you can roll mostly epic and omega gear, which is pretty good. Epic and omega gear have a tendency of just generally being better. So you can see right here, I just have some examples of some stuff that you might use in Artisan. Right here, there's just two basic crafting recipes of a sword. If you go to unidentified, and you see here, you can see that there's two crafting recipes, and these do require the research vault blacksmith, which by itself, with no mods or no decoration mods, they cost 2. That should be noted. Regardless, you can use these just crafting a couple of these. Red Volt Essence and Volturite, or Volt Ingots and Netherite. You can go ahead and look how to craft those up by yourself. And I just put some of this stuff in here for personal use so I can go ahead and craft some gear. So let's go ahead and let's just craft a sword, just to start out with. Oh, much better. Okay, so let's go ahead and just craft us a sword right here. You can see right there it's crafted by me, Strider 29, and it has a roll of polished. So let's go ahead and roll this, and let me just grab the identification book. I suggest you make this when you can. Okay, that rolled omega. That's just kind of funny. Regardless, let's go ahead and take this fabrication scroll, and let's just take all of them. And we'll go ahead and get into the flawed ruby in a second. So you say that you don't like this, you level it up, blah blah blah. We can also go ahead and look at Wutax and Void Orbs as well in just 1 second. But let's go ahead and just grab some Wutax crystals for this example. So let's say you want to go ahead and level this sword up because it has 3 levels and it has some good base stats. So you use all 3 levels and you're like, oh okay, well I don't really like this, but I don't want it to be useless. So what you would do is that you would take this sword and you would put it right here in this in the anvil with the fabrication jewel. And what this does is that this creates an artisan scroll. And it is random. I think it has like an exact same weight for every single modifier. It is not more likely to get one modifier than the other. There's also a chance that it can just roll none of the modifiers and it'll just roll a piece of equipment, an artisan scroll that can re-roll anything. So in this case, we got the thing I was just talking about, where you can re-roll any piece of equipment. So for example, oh, whoops. I got this. I don't really like this. So I can just put it in there, and it re-rolls it with no prior modifiers. So let's go ahead and just level that up. And for the sake of the example, this time we got the durability. And you can see that it says only for main hand and adds durability. This means that we could add it to something like an axe. And let's go ahead and make an axe, just for this particular example. And it also rolled epic. We don't really like to do anything about it, so we do this. And basically what happens when we do this is that when we roll it, it has a 100% chance of having a durability roll. What the durability rolls, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. It should be noted that if you have gear that is not necessarily crafted by yourself, but that is found inside of the bolts, such as Epic Plus, Rare Plus, anything as that, Common Plus, it will, when you roll it back into that with an Artisan scroll, it will stay as Common Plus, Epic Plus, Scrappy Plus, anything like that. So it is usually, generally speaking, better to do it on higher tier gear, such as Rare Plus, Epic Plus, so that you can pretty much get a higher chance of getting Omega or Epic. So let's go ahead and let's roll something on this axe. We got Soulbound. We don't really like Soulbound. So what we do is that we use this Void Orb. Now what this Void Orb does is that it removes one of the level, just as it said. Removes a modifier at random from the Volt Gear item when combined in an anvil. What it doesn't say here, and what I think it should say here, Iskal, is that it also has a chance of removing a repair. In this case, it did not. As you can see, it removed the durability roll from this. So let's go ahead and let's just add a couple. And it also added... Oh, wrong menu. Void Orb. Another thing that should be noted, you cannot stack Void Orbs. I do not know why. Let me go ahead and just show you. As you can see right there, it took away the durability roll and it added a repair. That is the downside. I do not know off the top of my head what the chance is. I would probably say it's like 25% chance of the time. So it's not amazing. Oh, right here, it should be noted this is how you craft the replication jewel. Now, let's see what else. Oh, yes, of course. Let me go ahead and craft a chest plate. Let's go ahead and craft a chest plate with the netherite. We see here that we don't really... We get reach. We don't really appreciate reach. So let's go ahead and just... Artisan scroll. Oops. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry about that. I wanted to come up with a better example. So, say you roll a chest plate, and you really like this chest plate. The stats are really good, but you roll knockback resistance, and knockback resistance is just not your deal. So, and you don't want to sacrifice a Void Orb because you really like that armor roll. So what you would do is that you combine a Void Orb and an Artisan Scroll to get a Void Orb that removes knockback resistance for a chest plate. And you could do this with pretty much any Artisan Scroll. So if you had a feet with feather feet or something like that. And you could put this inside of the anvil, and 100% of the time it will remove knockback resistance so that later on you can roll it and get something better. Hey look, another armor roll. You saw with that Void Orb, though, that it did take away a repair, which is unfortunate. Now, say you really, really like this chest plate, and you want to take a chance with this flawed ruby. What the flawed ruby does is that you can combine it with the gear in an anvil to add additional modifiers with a chance that the gear will break. Now, what this doesn't tell you is that if you use this as your treasure hunter, you're actually throwing, because for some reason. I say for some reason, it makes sense, but if you use this while you're treasure hunter, it only has a 5% chance of working. I don't know why they did this, but it is a function. So it should be noted that you only want to use this as Artisan, because as Artisan it has a 25% chance of working. I believe the thing, like the possibilities for treasure hunter are like 5% chance of working, 70% chance of doing nothing, and a 25% chance of just outright breaking. And it's completely different for Artisan. I think it's like 10%, 60%, 25%, something. I can't remember. So say you want to go ahead and flawed ruby. We flawed ruby it, and you can see that we didn't get anything. That doesn't mean we can't try again, so let's go ahead and try again. I believe it means we can try again. Nothing happened. Oh shit, maybe just one at a time. Huh? Well, this is new. Oh, okay, wait, you can see here. It says imbued. Has been imbued with a flawed ruby. So now this basically means that we can apply an additional level on there. You can see at the level or modification slot. And fire resistance. Would have been a lot cooler if it was luck, but fire resistance ain't completely awful. And now we have a new chest plate that we like, and we have fire resistance alongside with it. Now, I don't believe that there's anything else that goes along with Artisan. There's a lot of combos that you can do with this, and the most important one that I believe is the rerolling of the gear and the VOID ORB Artisan scroll attachment that you can do. So basically you can just get rid of any bad modifiers, and that's how you actually work Volt gear so that it's good and you're not wasting any time. So I would suggest that on a single player you definitely go for Artisan so you can work Volt gear later on, but in a multiplayer it might be better going with having one of your friends do it. So now we have this piece of awesome chest plate, and we'll be able to go into Volts and hopefully survive slightly better. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.